let's take a look at some optimization suggestions, and probably the easiest way is to go back to the dashboard, click on one of the optimization areas, and change context back to the root. So now we can see all the optimization suggestions currently open in the data center, and let's pick this one, and I'm going to open the topology. Okay, so that's an interesting one, and as you can see, we have 4 groups of files that I'm going to discuss a bit in a moment. And because they're all similar, I'm just going to tidy up a bit, and now we have a clearer understanding of the issue at hand. So what we see here is a violation of an Oracle best practice that might result in significant performance degradation. Now, Oracle can take care of multiplex, which is really it really means mirroring of critical files for us. Now, while any modern storage array can also take care of mirroring, it's actually a very good idea to let Oracle do that in this particular case. So beyond allowing redundancy, Oracle can also optimize I/O to practically double the performance, and this is for sure, it sure makes the extra work worthwhile. So in this case, the issue involves the database log files, which are usually a major bottleneck of any busy database. So without getting into too much detail, one of the reasons log files are so busy is that they are accessed by 2 highly I/O intensive processes: the logger, which writes the transaction logs, and the archiver, which copies a complete log files while the logger moves on to use the next file. So by allocating several spindles and using a clever file layout scheme, Oracle can guarantee that the writes and reads will always be performed on separate storage volumes, and therefore dramatically improve performance. Now, as you can see here, something went wrong. While the files are stored on 2 separate file systems that I'm going to highlight here, and so to the eyes of the DBA, it looks like a perfect configuration. What RecoverGuard has detected here is that the 2 file systems are actually stored on the same storage volume. So now, instead of doubling performance, we actually reduce it into third. So each transaction will need to be written twice to this same device, and then read from that very same device, which is actually probably not what we have intended. Now, one of the things I want to take a look is whether this device is replicated by using the display replication button here, and well, it is replicated, which can complicate things and further reduce performance. I want to zoom in to see what's happening here. Well, there is some good news at least. So as we can see, this device is replicated using SRDF, but the status of the replica is currently split, which is practically a sign that this particular replication is refreshed periodically. And if it was synchronous, then we would probably would have paid a dearer price for this particular misconfiguration. And so, as you can see, without very clear and close interaction between various silos, like in this case DBAs and system administrators and storage admins, there is no practical easy way to identify that we have such a performance issue. Now, let's just very briefly see some more examples, and so we see several similar issues. Here is a pretty common issue in which temporary SQL databases are replicated. Now, that by all means, that's an unrecommended practice by Oracle, and this one is on a Hitachi environment. We can see a true copy replication, which I can click to see the details, which practically means that the performance of the database is slowed down. Plus, what's more important is that the entire communication link is swamped with this totally unnecessary replication of extremely volatile piece of information. And as I said earlier, there is no practical value in replicating temp files, because in the event of failover, the first thing the standby server will do is to wipe clean the files and restart all over again. Now, if several of these are hidden in the data center, it can explain why your replication goes slow and so on. Let's just take perhaps one more example. So there are, I'm just going to show another feature of the product, which is to group issues by type, which will really give it a resemblance of Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. And so we can see some other database best practices, and or this is a very nice one. It's not a common one, but we do find it every now and a while, in which in a complex environment you'll find that one of your servers, as you can see here, is actually using storage from a remote site, which is not great for performance, and most likely oh, here are some IO multipathing inconsistency, where we have different number of paths and so on. So with that, I believe we got a basic grasp of the ticket module. Now let's move to some other sections of the product.